Okay. Oh, can you move in just a little bit? Got it?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Good job.
Good job, Paul.
I'm expecting you to do the same, Doug. I'm waiting for it. I've been waiting for weeks.
You've been going. Public comments?
Are we in the school now?
Yes, we are. Go ahead. Who are you?
Stand up.
The mic's not on.
No, you don't have to get up there, but you can.
The mic's not on anyway.
Oh, the boss?
Gavino Conca, C-O-N-C-A-U-G-H.
Barbara Conca. First, Jan, I hope I'm not blindsiding you with this, and I apologize because I have too much respect for you.
It's all right, go ahead.
We were concerned when our daughter was going to the middle school, high school, because of her age and being with high school students. I was told that it was kept separate, the middle school and the high school. Recently, I was informed that the group study was moved, high school group study was moved into the middle school hallway. That concerns me. And the other thing I was told is that the high school students that are supposed to be in that class are hanging out in the middle school bathroom. I just wanted to know if the school board was aware of this or what could be done to make it stop.
My question is, did you go to Jan with that issue first?
I have not seen Jan,
Jan? Haven't seen Jan?
and that's why I don't mean to blindside her, and I
But-
apologize if it does.
Well,
I didn't know that.
well.
I mean, I know about the room movement, but
I did try to knock on the door today, but you didn't answer.
But weren't you at the, weren't you both at the game yesterday? Well, you were at the game yesterday, weren't you?
no, I was in the meetings.
With us?
Yes.
I thought you went in, I thought you went to the game after.
She may have the varsity, but not the junior one.
Oh, because you won.
They finished right as we finished.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. We have to be cautious of what we do. Complaints, because there's a chain of command that we need to go through.
Mhm.
Okay, and we need to do it by jumping the whole system. It messes up the system, and we have to be cognizant of that, because if there becomes a hearing issue,
Mhm.
you've got to go through the chain of command, because that's a concern.
Okay, so Jan.
Now, Jan,
What time are you available tomorrow?
Earl, then the
I work
board.
well, actually, I work till 9 p.m.
What time, do you have morning time?
I go in at 8 a.m.
7?
I
Are you
can
still
do that.
sleeping at 7?
No, I can do that.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, now that you brought it to all of us, we'll look into it.
The next issue for public, there's several people, and it's raised by me as well as a few of my neighbors, is a busing situation.
No, non-public.
They came to voice their opinion.
Do I have
They
to bring
want to
that
be
up?
heard.
I'll bring it.
Go ahead.
She'll speak for us. Good evening. I'm Michelle Parlato. I live on Willie Road. I've lived in Milton 9 years now, Milton Mills. This is my first time attending. I used to work in Milton, so between commute, kid stuff, I didn't have time to be involved. Well, here I am. I work from home now, so I'm going to start being a little more involved. So I'll welcome me. Thank you. I am late getting here, so I am unfamiliar with most of you. I know Tammy, because she does such a great job for the school, and my lovely neighbor. But other than that, I'm not familiar with any of you. I am apologetic. So bring us back to why I'm here.
Monique's here.
Sarah, Monique is here. Barbara's here. I live at 338 Willie Road. My son has always gone to school at MES. I've had to have him in before and after school programs because of my commute. Last year, I did start working from home, but our neighbor had decided that her daughter, who was homeschooled, was going to start going to public school, so she offered to be my transportation. This year, I had an epiphany saying, wow, I'm a taxpayer and I pay somebody to bring my child to school. I also had to take the school bus when I was a child. So decided I would go that route. It works best for my family. It's a benefit that we should be able to take advantage of. So I found out the information, brought my son to the school bus stop because I do not dare him walk down my road. I don't even dare walk down my road. It's not a quick walk. It's not from here to the end of the wall to the bus stop. It's quite a jaunt. We have no sidewalks. We have no street lights. Come winter time, the road is pretty much wide enough for maybe the school bus. I've already seen incidences at the bus stop I'm at now where people are laying on their horn, flying down my road. It's where they pick them up is at Guptill, which prior to, we also had a sex offender that lived on our street near that vicinity, which I know can't do anything about. However, if the school bus could just literally go another maybe quarter of a mile, not even up the road, every child could get picked up safely.
Can I stop you right there? What was the mileage from your house? I asked you to check it.
0.8.
From your house down to Guptill Lane?
From the actual turnaround, from the town turnaround point, is 0.8.
0.8, almost a mile. Okay, go ahead. I need
And
to know
there
that.
is actually, my husband is employed for the town, so I do know there is a safe place up there where the town maintains. So the town trucks have to turn around to plow. So it's also maintained so that the school bus would be able to safely turn around there instead of literally having to back up down Willie Road using a mirror that's attached to a pole and backing up down again somebody's personal road to back out. It's just an all-around safety issue.
So that's what you're saying they're doing currently?
Yes.
Backing back up the road, not doing a turnaround.
Exactly.
Okay.
Can I interject something there? I went up today. I've been up there 3 times now. Drove the road probably 4 times. I did twice today. I went to the highway department, and the highway department does not use that turnaround during the spring because they get stuck in there. I talked to the supervisor at the highway department. It costs $400 to be towed out of that spot, right across from that Wakefield line. What they have to do during the spring when it's muddy, they have to go all the way up to 108, and they won't turn around in anybody's driveway because if you turn around in somebody's driveway and you damage it, you have to pay for it. So they drive all the way up to 108 in Wakefield and turn around. And I didn't do that, and I didn't know about that until I stopped at the highway barn today. So that's the only issue that I have with the turnaround because they don't use it in the spring. So I don't know if your husband drives for him or what he does, but he mustn't. I don't
He
know.
does drive for them, yes.
Ask him that question tonight because that's what, like 3 people standing there and they've all told me that.
Okay, so that's one season out of
That's the spring.
the spring.
So the bus is going to have to go longer.
And for one season, which amounts to about 3 or 4 months.
I don't know what the duration of that spot for being muddy is.
Because I think them going a little bit longer than my son being pegged off by a car or me having to completely keep changing my work schedule, do a bus routine. It takes a little bit more priority.
So was one of your questions to the highway department if they could put rocks down or could they make it
I didn't ask
better?
him that question.
But it's a question we could ask, right?
We can go ahead and ask him that question, but I don't think they're going to especially pay
Well, we
it
could
or-
ask the selectmen.
I've even offered
Right.
to sign a waiver because my driveway is so big for them to turn around since I am the last house on the street. The town is aware of the speeding on our road where our neighbor's dog was killed. My daughter was almost run over. We've had to have the police presence on a regular basis. We have skid marks going up and down our road. Her husband had to chase somebody.
You couldn't even see the vehicle from all the smoke.
It has been,
And this is recent, more than one occasion.
it has been just, come wintertime, it's even worse. And one of our neighbors now has a preschool child that gets off the bus and has to walk on that road. It is just so dangerous.
I have a 2-part question, actually. Who makes or comes up with the bus stop route, and why at the beginning of the road they can stop at every single driveway, but they can't come up to pick up our kids.
Probably the same reason they can pave.
A road.
I can't answer that question.
Just by
I think
guess.
the
Who
following
makes
is
the bus route? Who makes the bus stops?
I would think it would be Tim,
Tim.
So I guess my question
approved
is,
by the board.
if you knew this was coming up tonight, why isn't he here?
Couldn't be. I asked him to come. Couldn't make it.
The other, that I want to point out is, all of my neighbors have called and asked Tim to come up and look at the area and try to come up with something. He has never come out.
I asked.
Phone calls don't even get returned.
I called him last year.
Okay, I asked. That's why I think it should have been non-public. I asked you not mention names. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. That's what non-public is for. Okay, go ahead.
So what is the deal, just interjecting, because I don't know, what is the problem with the bus turning around in her driveway?
I'd have to ask.
I'm just asking, I don't know.
Well, I believe one of our neighbors did have.
Well, same thing. I had talked to Tim. This was probably a couple years ago, and this was before Melissa moved in, and we offered to have him turn around in our driveway, and he said he would come assess it, but we would have to sign like a liability form.
Now, what number are you? 'Cause
I'm 270, so I'm probably the closest to Guptill Road.
but the problem is still up the road, though.
Yes.
Beyond you.
Well, yes. Like I said, this was years ago, and he never even came.
But if you could turn around at the very end, you could make a stop every place along.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But
I get the point.
It's a very narrow road with high speeders, and come winter time, it's even more narrow. And like I said, the police have been down there because we have 18-wheelers that come flying down, and
It's just not safe.
So in essence, what Paul is saying, because I too have seen it, I drove up there with Doug Shute, and I saw the area that you're talking about. It was a little square that you can pull in. But furthermore, I think that you seized upon the thing that basically, if you went to the very end, up to 108, I didn't go up that far. How far did you say that was? 0.8 miles?
from
or-
Guptill, which is a private road, it's someone's private driveway, the town does not own that. So
Exactly.
the bus is already turning around on a private street, a private driveway, okay? But from there to
town line.
the town line is 0.8.
And then to 109 from there is like another probably 2.5, 3 miles.
So are you saying then, and again, I'm not the one that does the bus routes per se, but then they could turn around in that area that's 0.8 miles? Is that what
Yes,
we're
except
saying?
for the spring, as you said, because of the liability of heavy vehicles getting stuck, you said, so maybe something could be done with
But
salt.
basically, in general, looking at that, it's kind of on a curve.
Right, on the last house in the town.
You know, again, it would be a board decision, but to be the cars are going pretty quick. Even when Doug Shute and I were standing there, they were flying. I mean, not flying, but going.
It's
You know,
excessive, yes.
So my only input being, if we're looking at a little more time, if that was the pleasure of the board, one might think, regardless of whether it be spring season or whatever, if the safest way to go was the additional, I think that's what you're trying to infer as
Have her turn
maybe an
around her
option.
driveway.
I'm willing to sign the
You can
waiver
see the town line
You
from
don't
her
need to
house.
sign a waiver.
for them to pull the driveway.
go ahead.
Okay. When we have a different bus driver. Okay. First of all, you talk about going through the chain of command, which several people have tried to do that with no success. So now it's brought to the board.
Did you go to him? Did you do the chain of command?
Sounds like they have. Doug.
No, they
You
didn't
keep
go to
saying you don't
Earl.
want us to use the name. We all know the name, but I won't use it.
He's talking about
He-
Earl, though.
I understand that, but I believe it was not last year, but the year before, we had a different bus driver, and that person came up with a route, and she came up and dropped the kids at the driveway every day except Wednesdays because there was after school and she had to get back to the school. So why all of a sudden it's changed and now that turnaround is an issue during the spring when she had done it before?
Did you turn around in that spot?
I believe so. I
No,
don't.
I was told, we had
She didn't go down to 108, I know that.
We had bus drivers that lived in Wakefield at one time, and I was told they used to pick the kids up on that road when they went through.
Okay.
Because they lived
You know
in
what?
Wakefield and
Yeah.
it was
I'm done.
convenient for them.
Yeah.
Well, it's not convenient. What's convenient for a bus driver? It's convenient for me as a parent and a taxpayer.
So,
If
It's not
they're
con-
getting paid to
It's
drive
not
that
convenience,
bus,
it's a matter of life and death whether our kids get picked off by a car or not.
I mean, that's their job.
it
is
sounds
to
like we're
drive the
making a
bus.
mountain out of this. Why can't we just see if Tim is willing to have the bus driver go up to that house, turn around at her house, and eliminate any problems, accidents, people flying by,
Thank
kids
you,
getting
sir.
killed? You will have to sign a waiver because we always get bit by it, because look at all the ruts in my driveway for being nice. So yes, you'll have to sign a waiver. And then we just make it happen, and then every day the bus will go to her house, drop off everybody, and be done with it.
We want to make sure we can turn around in her driveway.
It's a big driveway,
I know it's a big driveway.
so
Make sure
let's
Tim
just
gets
make it happen. It's just, I think it's getting.
Do we need a motion?
Do we need a motion?
Jesus.
Is that your motion?
You want to
I'll
make that
second it.
motion? Oh, all
Make a
right.
motion, they turn the damn bus around her driveway. That's the motion.
And pick up all the children along the way.
Yeah, well, if this stops along the way, but the bus ends right there and goes
For
back
both.
the other way.
For both.
And when will we, as the public, know if this is gonna happen? Because we've tried to make it happen, and that's why we're all here.
I want
How
to
long
make
does it
sure
take to
bus
get a
can-
hold of
I
them
wanna
and
make
change
sure
the
Tim can
subject?
turn
It's
around and
change
make-
the
Hopefully you
schedule.
have better luck than us, that's why we're here.
I want to make sure, I'm
Make it happen.
going to make sure Tim can turn around in your driveway first with the bus.
Melissa's driveway.
Is that something that'll happen?
Melissa's driveway.
He can
Without
go up,
problem?
I'm there tomorrow. He can go up tomorrow. He can go up anytime, I don't have to be home.
You're willing to sign a waiver?
I'm willing to
That
sign
the-
a waiver.
Well,
Rut the
what
bus-
we-
rut
what
up
we
the
could do-
driveway?
Is make the motion that we pick the kids up and then determine where the turnaround spot will be after that.
Whichever's best for Laura, the driver, you mean?
I don't know who the driver is.
You know,
I think
like-
you have to make it just, set, not per driver.
Like what he's basically saying in essence is Paul might amend the motion that the children will be picked up,
Yep.
and the worst scenario would be they would drive the
They won't.
additional 0.8 miles and turn around, and then the red tape, the legitimization of the turning around in the driveway and the signing off.
The bus will go with a long route, picking up children along the way and using the already installed turnaround until it no longer becomes readily feasible, and then they will use another driveway until spring's over.
Thank you. What is your name, sir?
Paul,
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate that. Thank you all of you.
I'm seconding that motion.
make sense? They'll use
Makes
the turnaround that's
sense.
existing now until they can't,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
we have accommodating people that will let them use their driveway
Yes.
with a waiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Melissa?
I have to abstain, I'm part of it.
Aye.
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 Aye. So how will I guess my only question is how will if this changes,
Probably should start next Monday, give them a chance to
Mhm.
redo
right, but
it.
how the family is going to be notified so they know to bring
I don't think there'd be any problem notifying them.
No, we right up.
A lot of notification. Then we'll have someone that will.
You-
I think they already know.
Notification?
Donut that morning.
I think they
You'll be
all,
in charge of notification?
We can send
I will be
emails,
in
so
charge
we
of
can do an
notification.
alert
Yeah,
on
an alert now.
is
And we'll have the
that,
bus, we gotta make sure we have the driver come and try to.
does that
turn on the
work
driveway.
for you?
Just for the.
Yeah,
sake-
okay,
for
you've
the
been very
sake of the
kind and
school.
Miss
quiet.
Laurie is very good.
So she would do that.
Okay.
Just try your bus in the driveway, back out, you're good to go.
I will see Miss Laurie tomorrow and have her come up to the driveway.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, so very much.
You're very welcome.
Public comment anymore? Now see what happens when you make a public comment. I just went to a class, and our policy committee has got to make a lot of policy changes. Okay? I'm looking at both of you.
I'm hiding.
Got to be on these policies, because they're extremely important, because they not only deal with kids' safety and everything, they got to be looked at and taken care of as soon as possible. And I got 2 big batches got to be looked at.
Well, as soon as they're given to us, we have no issue taking care of
Well,
it.
I'm going to give you an address tonight. You got to go to,
I believe we already have the address on our thing.
no, you missed, you should have, policy committee should have gone to the policy meeting. And they should have gone on the other one the other day. Because there's training available, and the only reason I went is to see where the policies had changed, and that's the only reason I found out about them. And I think I told the whole board about the training sessions that were coming up. Because I think you all got the notification from the New Hampshire School Board Association. You got a couple of good ones coming up here shortly that ought to be looked at. Okay, moving on. Do you have any more public comments? All right. Minutes for 8/22/18.
I will make a motion to accept the public minutes of August 22nd with the corrections that have already been sent to Tammy.
Yes. I second that.
Okay, Melissa?
Aye.
Abstain.
Aye.
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 Okay, pass.
May I make you just talk, I'm sorry, you just talked about policies, but I went to a board meeting, and there was a state attorney there who was talking about not abstaining, Paul?
He had to, he wasn't here.
No, I know, it was very interesting because his whole premise was, even though you are not here, or were not there, if you have seen the minutes,
I
and
can
you
approve them.
seem to think that they are okay, you should not abstain, because sometimes that one vote makes a difference whether somebody is approved, or something is approved or not.
That's an attorney's opinion.
Okay.
I went to a class. You know what one attorney said? That he believes we don't need non-public.
Oh, then I think we just lay everything right out there.
That's what he said, but that was just his opinion. I think you ought to run that by the New Hampshire School Board Association.
All right, but anyway, it was just,
When you go into non-public, don't you read their A, B, C, and D? That's what non-public is for.
and there's an
To
I,
protect
and,
people's
yeah.
kid under 18's name cannot be mentioned. If it's over 18, you ask him if he wants it public or non-public.
No, I
So
have a
don't
problem
think-
with that one.
And we ought to run that one by the attorney before we get that one out there, okay?
Okay, just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, I will make a motion to accept the non-public of Wednesday, August 22nd with the corrections that have been sent to Ms. Tammy already.
I will second, but I have a question for Tammy. Did you read my corrections?
I haven't read through
Okay,
it.
so there's a question I have on, it would have been F, resignation. There's a motion, and she has Paul seconding, which we know Paul wasn't there.
That's what I was just gonna say.
So,
I
doing
put
that.
that.
Doug, do you know who seconded? I know you usually keep, because I don't know if you're gonna
I
know.
didn't check my notes on that one.
So we just need to know who seconded that motion that night, so she can make the
I'll look at
corrections.
my stuff.
So.
I probably wrote it down.
Okay, well, if you don't, reach out to Doug, 'cause I know he writes it on the.
Thank you for thinking of me anyway.
We're all thinking of you,
We
Paul.
were.
That's all I have.
So you gonna open the
Melissa?
candy bar or what?
Melissa?
Aye.
Oh, no, abstain.
Aye.
Should I abstain?
Aye. You just told me couldn't abstain.
I was looking at the candy bar. Sorry.
Superintendent's report.
Oh, boy, I haven't heard one of these in a while.
I know you were waiting for this.
I have
That's it. You just came back for this, I know that.
I have.
you know. We had two MES in at Newt. The folks came in, the parents came in, they were two great nights. Laura Noseworthy, to my right, cooks the best hamburgers and hot dogs you could ask for. And I snuck back for one or two more. I must confess. So,
Wear your ketchup well.
Mustard.
the shirt and the tie, you know. So, but it was very, very good. All the staff that had been here, and then the new staff, including Mr. Shea, John Shea, who not only is our athletic director, but has taught math, will teach math, is teaching math over at Newt High School. And it was very refreshing getting to meet all the, seeing the folks again, the parents again. Interestingly enough, if you remember, thanks to Peg Hurt, they were able to sit down, but the homeschool liaisons were here that day, and I had them stand up and introduce themselves, Miss Sheehan and her sister. And through the collaboration with them and with homeschool parents, we have homeschool students that now are here, as you are well aware. And the enrollment in both MES and Newt Middle High School has gone up. And as you know, this is very rare in the Northeast, especially the rural Northeast, in all of the states, because what happens is there's a migration out in the Northeast. That's always been the case. But years ago, there's an equivalent or more amount of kids that came in. So right now, we're kind of unique. I don't have the statistics for all of the schools, but it's very unique for a school to have more students that are coming in. And I think a lot of that has to do with the stability of the board and the administration and the positive things that are occurring. And I think that as we communicate, as we're transparent, as we lead to the understanding, and whether it be homeschool parents or what, or and so forth, they get to be a part of us. They get to be on the committees. In fact, some of the parents that have had concerns in years gone by have come forth, communicate with me often text or whatever the case is, just making us aware of certain things. Not that they're making a complaint against a teacher or a principal or whatever, just a heads up. Do you know that the bus is going to be late? Wire is on the bus, this, that, the other thing. So it's more or less a communication, it's awareness. In Jan, at the middle high school, has 10 or 12 parents that had come forth that had positive ideas, constructive ideas, that were not afforded an opportunity or listened to in some instances by the board or the previous administrations. Now we're feeling that they have a voice and a say, and that they can come in and give her some input. And you met with them last year.
Yep, and I met with them last week too. Actually this month. We've been meeting the second month.
So you might tell them a little bit about that. So I'm going to have them kind of join in, and then I'm going to have Mr. Shea and I talk about some sports things. Did you want to just tell them how that group is?
Yep, so basically I share some things with them, and then they also give me feedback. Based on their feedback for open house, last year we had done it in the gym, and they found the teachers and asked them questions, had to wait in line. Based on their feedback this year, we had them follow their child's schedule. And I asked the parents for feedback at the end of the night. It was resoundingly positive. They liked it better. They liked knowing that their child has to go from this end of the building to that end of the building in 3 minutes, which they didn't think was a bad thing, but they're glad they know that. The only challenge is if they had more than one child, or if they were there by themselves that night. But most said they were able to pick and choose, which, you know, they knew this teacher, so they went to this class instead, so they were able to get through even multiple child's schedules. So we'll look to redo that again next year.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. Now, as far as athletics is concerned, Mr. Shea is here, the athletic director. Our soccer, despite making phone calls and trying to encourage interest in the program, we began practices and found that there was not enough of the students there. I've talked to a couple of the parents, some of the students, and all of the ones I talked to are university enthusiastically interested in a merger with yes, them and us in terms of having a joint team. But why don't you give them an update of where we are, Mr. Shea?
All right. So Farmington is, interested in the idea. Their only potential concern, which I'm going to address how we can address that, is with the moving up the divisions. I was unaware of this. I don't know if anyone else here was, but when we combined the football team several years back, apparently somebody wanted to move them up a division. Now, you guys all know our football team, I don't think has won a game in 3 years in Division 4. Playing in Division 3 would have been, pretty rough, but by some technicality, we were maybe like one or two not even players, students in the school over the mark. So we're looking into that now, but the positive is this: it's a 3-step process that actually has to start very soon, which is why you all wanted me here tonight. It takes up to a year to get done. I wasn't aware. So first you'd have to go before the soccer committee with our proposal. By that point, already both boards would have had to approve the plan. And then they say, okay, then you go to the classification. That's when you decide what division you're going to be placed in. So we would then have a chance to argue that point about staying down, moving up, etc. Then it would go before their executive council for the final say. On the positive, if you will, there would be time to back out between those two if we lost the division battle. Right now, we're not in a great position of strength no matter how that battle went, because we don't even have a team. But in any event, at least that would put their fears aside, so we could say, let's just go forward, let's assume we're going to get the division we want, let's do all this stuff, because you would have a chance to back out if we didn't get that division. And then we could just make our best arguments for doing this merger and for being in the classification where I think everybody would acknowledge we should be. I mean, we had 5 kids come out this year when all was said and done. The 5 kids ain't going to turn them into a Division 3 program. So.
5, huh?
Yeah, which is not unusual. When I did this before in New York, we had the same thing with the same sport. And we merged with another school, and they wanted us to assure them that as a result of it, we wouldn't pound on these other schools. And what happens a lot of times, we'll go down there, the 3 of us in Farmington, and let them know this, and let's say we do get very strong, then they might look at moving us up. But what they do basically is take the number of students enrolled in each school and combine them. And when you combine them, it can move us up 1. So instead of 4, 3, or whatever the case is. Now, regarding football, as an update, I know we approved $350 per student. Actually, our other new math team, he helps with the football team there. So we actually have an assistant coach from Newt that is working with the football team. I talked with him this last week, and there's 23 students on the team, and 4 of them come from us. So therefore, that's working out well, because we have 4 of the students of the 20, so it comes out fair, so it gives, like we talked about before, it's opportunity as far as our students are concerned, because it's up to us within the constraints of the school budget to provide everything we can for our students here, so they're getting so they can get exposed. So that's what we're trying to work on now. Did you want to talk about girls too? The girls soccer?
Yes, it would be a package deal. That's what we're working on now, which would probably be the biggest benefit to us. When we have had soccer over the last couple of years, I don't know exactly how far it goes back, I'm new here, but over the last couple of years, it's been boys and girls playing together, meaning our girls had to play on a boys team and against all boys, which wasn't really fair. This would allow us to have a boys team and a girls team. So I think that's one of the biggest benefits. Had we managed to scrape up a team this year, we would have had 14 kids playing all game long, basically, because 11 are playing at a time, and we would have had 4 or 5 girls playing against 11 boys. So I think that's probably the best part of this package for us, and it's where Farmington is struggling the most. They do still have a girls program, but barely. So they really need that part of this. Their boys are a little better. They could get by without this, although it would help them. But their girls program is always in danger of not existing anymore. So I think that's a good lead-in and a very good benefit for us.
And in the fall, you do have a very good existing team.
Yes.
You might want to tell them about that. the team that's going on now, the volleyball.
Volleyball, yeah. Our volleyball team is doing really well. We have, first of all, let me say publicly here, we have, well, I guess it ain't public anymore. Well, I'll say it at least publicly. We have wonderful coaches for both the varsity and the middle school program. They're very dedicated. They were there all summer long running camps for the girls. The girls love them, and they are very good at what they do. They are disciplined, but in a friendly, positive way that the girls respond to. I don't think anybody that knows them would disagree with that. And it's showing. You know, our varsity team, well, right now they're 1-1, but have played very well in both games. Our middle school team is 1-0, had a very good showing in a preseason tournament. And they're playing really well. So yeah, that we should all be very proud of. I know I am. I mean, I think we should all be.
That's one thing I know. The girls volleyball, it goes without saying, every year Newt stomps everybody in girls volleyball, so that's kind of cool.
And even going from the low ones, you might speak about that, Melissa. You have a child there.
I have to say the coaches for the volleyball have really encouraged. I've seen my daughter actually jump for the ball and not be afraid and really being encouraged and coming out of her shell because of the coaches. They are phenomenal. I can't say enough about them. And especially when the other day when I couldn't find my daughter and the coach stayed with her. Well, I was in a panic. So the coaches that you have are just phenomenal, and I really am very grateful for them.
Yeah, that worked out ideally. You called me. I called Jan, and I said, I hope the coaches wait with the kid. Jan said, we're right here with her now. I was about all set to give you my speech. This is the way we should be doing it. You know, so that worked out really well. Thank you. And I really think our athletics, we're looking to build in all areas. And just the very communication. Because many of you were on the school board 2-3 years ago, and suddenly I sat here, and parents came in, and the soccer team wasn't going to be. And I'm going, what? And the board's going, what? So this was a complete 360 in terms of the communication from the AD to Jan, to me, to the board, and we were constantly aware of it, and we did what we could, and we're taking proactive steps, just like we just had this, just like we conversed about, what can we do for our students to provide something more so that every year we're not calling up and counting heads and doing the things that we had done. Also, too, going back to transparency, I would like to thank...
Excuse me, before you go on to something else, can I
Yeah.
just ask a question about the soccer?
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the football, we had an agreement with Farmington per student.
Yep.
Do we have any kind of a monetary agreement
Great
yet?
question. So that is one of the things that has to be worked out before we get the proposal. But what we're talking about now, this is actually Earl's idea, although if you want me to say it or...
No, go
Okay.
on.
No problem.
Was just to basically trade teams. You take one, we haven't 100% decided yet, but either way, you take the boys, we take the girls, and vice
Okay.
versa. And it's, you roughly need the same amount of buses, you roughly need the same amount of referees, you both need uniforms, so it'll just kind of work out. But that way we won't have to worry about money passing hands.
Okay,
So I
good.
think that's
Thank
what I
you.
want to go with, I think is the best option.
But that
Thank
is...
you. I just wanted to.
But that's a very good question. In the event the girls' situation, combination with both schools, if something doesn't work out, then we're back to okay, let's do option
Yeah.
2.
No, that's okay. I just want to know in the meantime.
Because right now it's a reciprocity where we kind of go back and forth. One person houses the boys' team, the other the girls' team, or vice versa. Okay, thank you. Thanks. That's great. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you. And the other thing, I just real quick, I think in terms of credibility and transparency, the air quality, the communication, Jan was right on top of it. We worked in conjunction with the board and Bob and everyone you talk to, the students, the staff, and everything. The school just looks good, smells good, and I think, a lot of people are saying it's the best air that they've had there in a long, long time. So I would like to thank everybody, and I think the parents were grateful that we were above board. Everything worked out and we opened and everything, but yet it would have been that, did you know what was going on and we didn't know and all that. So we'd rather be transparent, lay things out there. This is what's going on. This is what we're trying to do. This is where we are. Let's work together and try to make things go. So I'd like to thank everybody. The board support, the board was right on top of it. They did everything beyond in terms of the cost of having that done, and it worked out ideally. So we're off to a fantastic start, and a lot of it has to do with the coordination. So, thank you.
Okay. Financial reports?
I made a mistake and didn't limit her questions to 3, so she had 21 of them.
Oh my God.
I have my copy.
And you get 2 slaps for that.
But I did answer them all.
Who had 21 questions?
Me.
Peg. We call this Peg's consent agenda.
You need to simmer down with all this.
We have a consent agenda
So
just
these
for
count
Peg.
as 2
Yeah.
questions?
If I may preface my 21 questions,
Was it redundant questions from before?
no.
Really? No.
Thank you.
She's
Thank
learning.
you. Excuse me. I just humbly request that one of you, any one of you, go to the budget committee next Tuesday night and sit there and have them ask you questions. And without my little 21
You won't
questions,
be able to answer them? That's what you're going to say?
I need to have those questions answered before I go to that budget committee meeting, okay?
So thank you for making us shine.
You must love
You know what?
changing your
We
font to
do.
red. You must love it.
Thank you.
We do. I gotta tell you, the
Great
school
ambassador.
board at the budget committee,
Spot on.
absolutely. Except last month I couldn't do anything because our meeting was after.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I'm sorry, I can't say anything.
I appreciate the work you've done.
What?
Thank you.
I appreciate the work you did.
Oh, thank you ever so
Thank you, Nate, for
much.
answering her.
So there are a couple of things that Nate does say that he needs to go back and move a little bit here and there. But other than that, if you guys read, he does an excellent job answering my questions.
Did you get any stickers for
I
this?
was just thought that.
I think he's due for stickers next.
A sticker.
I didn't get any for the negotiating meeting.
Excuse me. They should give you the stickers for that one.
Meg, I needed a bigger board. I don't have more room on my board.
Peg, I would recommend that you not do 13 question marks so it looks like you're yelling.
Yeah.
I can hear it, her voice in my head too, yelling.
What?
One will suffice.
Yeah.
Make a motion, we use 1 question mark.
Here,
One
would you
question.
send,
That's them.
Okay.
here, he
Any
needs
questions
an
on the
orange
operating
one.
budget other than Peg's?
Negative.
Beyond
Sticker.
monthly expense revenue report?
That was the expense. Let's see, 19 were on the expense.
Okay.
There was only 1 on the revenue because I just wanted to know about the other and unanticipated income. Again, you may look at that. He did an awesome job answering that because I'm also asked that at the budget committee. And if any of you are actually watching from the budget committee tonight, hi.
Yes. You stop? Pull a cord?
little wind-up thing in the back.
I tell you, I didn't stop you.
Did you pull a cord? Good one, Doug.
Okay, because one of the things that kept going over in the expense report last year was dental insurance that we do not provide for a certain group of people, but they were taking it. And so Nate was obviously paying the bill, but then they were paying us. And so I kept getting the question, well, are they putting it in as revenue? What are they doing? And so we discussed it, and this year he's doing it all through payroll, so that was why I wanted to know if that was where they was coming in. Nope. So you can read the red.
Okay.
Set? Moving on, revenue report, anybody?
What's the revenue report?
Good. Grant report?
Page 1 of the grant report. I just questioned the DHHS grant on the first page because it expired 6/30 and there's a negative balance. So
It scared her.
it scared the living daylights. We owe them money? Come on, grants are supposed to give us money. So he's going to take care of that for me too.
All right.
Doug, quick question on
Go ahead.
the activity statement report.
Oh.
I know I've asked this before, but I couldn't remember the answer. It's been a while. Maybe Jan can answer this. Like the class of 2017, class of 2018, they have leftover balances. How long do we keep those for?
A couple of years in case they want to do reunions, but they have to then put it into their own account, get it out of our account.
Okay, so it just stays for a few, and then after they don't use it in a few years, it just,
It comes back. We goes into a master one that we usually do scholarships out of for.
oh, okay. All right, thank you. That's all I have.
What's that? Page 43 is Milton School Trust Fund balances. Any questions? Milton Fund balance?
This is a,
New.
Nate wants to talk.
This is something we do every year. It's basically a quick snapshot of the DOE 25. You know that 25 page?
The thing we signed.
Yeah. This typically I have it when I pass that out as well. But this is basically just shows you, like I said, a snapshot of where the monies were and how we came to that figure.
And the 365, 484 is what we're handing back.
Correct.
160 of that is left over from our closure of the SAU for
Correct. Yep.
2016 and 2017.
For the SAU, yep.
Is that the DOE 25, the MS 25?
It's technically it's both.
Okay.
The MS 25 is embedded in the DOE 25.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on. I think we're on the website.
Yep.
So no treasurer's report?
Not yet, no.
Website is redesigned?
Yep.
Wow. Now, that's some bids. Offers, there's a lot of bids there.
Look at the variation in
I like the last one on page 1, yeah.
267,904.
That's just for the support.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Apparently we are all on the one.
They just want to do one contract and retire. Yep.
So there's no one local, everyone's out of state.
Who got this bid, or Nate? Who got the bid? Who got these bids?
I did.
Boxborough, Mass, the closest one.
So who you got a recommendation for us?
I do. I did my due diligence and checked references and got information from users on a lot of the lower bids. And my recommendation is going to be the virtual town and schools.
What page you on?
That's page
46. Second one down.
second one down, yeah.
Now, who is this exactly for the minutes? SAU?
It's for all three. So it's for SAU, it's for the Milton, it's for MES, and it's for New.
No. This just changed the picture of the website,
This changes the website itself.
not the information that's on it. We have to put
We
the...
dictate what the information is,
I
but
know.
the navigation, the
Being able to add stuff more easily and
yes, exactly.
What was
add
that?
stuff. Being able to add stuff more easily and
We had two issues with this old one. One was navigation was for residents or whoever did not like it at all, and the other issue that I heard of a lot was from the office. It was extremely difficult to actually put something on the website, edit it. It wasn't user friendly by any means.
You mean out of the three buildings?
Yes.
Yeah,
Nobody
staff.
else can go in and change anything on that website?
Correct, there's only 3 people. Well, 4 if you include me, but I don't do anything with them.
Okay.
What happened with the town? Did the town, because I know that was one of the things that we talked about, was the town was looking for a new website vendor
The
too?
town was waiting to see what we did, what the board decided.
So do they have all of these too? All of
I
these?
cannot speak for them. I
Okay,
don't know.
all right, just curious.
I think I just answered my own question, but that virtual towns and schools could do a town website too.
Yes.
So that if we
Oh,
said,
there
yeah,
you
this
go.
is
In
what
fact,
the school
we
went
do get a
with.
10% discount if we both do it.
Laura?
So that 2,400 support is yearly, or?
Yes. And
And what is it now? Do
In
you know?
comparison, it's 3,600 right now, a
Okay.
year.
And that includes training or whatever people have to do to get on it to make changes and all that? Because I know some of them see it says training on it too, and,
Yeah, the 9,000 is training, and then the 2,400 is support.
okay.
So if you ever need a question or whatever, they'll help you with it.
But the training's gonna be for the 4 people, not
Yes,
anybody else.
correct.
I don't know why we're not going with this one in Michigan.
Now, who are the others? We know who you are. Who's the other one in the SAU office? Kathy?
Yeah.
And what about the other buildings?
Computer teachers.
Well,
Right.
whoever gets the stipend. I know last year it was Donna.
Website?
Yeah, Donna,
You'll,
Poole. No, and Jen Levitt was doing it last year.
I think we already assigned it this year. didn't we?
I think you did too, I just don't remember who it was.
It's in our last packet. Anybody have any more questions?
No, do we have to make a,
No,
Motion.
it's gotta choose
Motion?
one.
Well, it's up to the board, of course. Keep in mind, this was done a while ago, before we had all these projects in line. If we do this, we're gonna have the usual go-to. It's either gonna be the operating budget or the technology fund.
Question. Now,
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this what we started a long time ago, back when we were joint SAU and we were talking about it and people were complaining about not updating and
They
all that?
complained about it, and that's when we went with the current website we have.
Okay. Now it's time to, okay, now we can move on from that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said you wanted possibly take it out of the technology fund? This expense?
The setup, yeah.
Not the monthly?
No, the monthly would have to come out of the operating budget.
And you said the monthly already is 3,600.
3,600.
So we'd be saving money.
Yeah.
Laura?
And so when would this start? It would start this school year,
Our-
or would it be for next year?
Our current contract ends December.
So,
So if
We
we don't do
pay-
anything with this right now, we have the current one for at least another year.
so you said our bill is 36 or whatever for the one we currently have?
Yeah.
So is that cut into 2 bills, or we'd owe that, all of that? And this money would be on top of that?
No, it would not be on top of that.
Okay.
If we got this done before that, we wouldn't be paying that extra 3,600.
because the contract ends
Does that answer your
in the
question?
middle of the
December.
school year, which
Yeah.
is kind of unique.
So 3,600 hasn't been touched whatsoever, or some of it's been touched?
It has not been touched.
Okay, so we'd be saving money.
So in December, we'd have to pay that 3,600 if we didn't get this done
If
in
we
time.
don't do this,
Okay.
yes.
All right,
How long
But
would
we
it
have
take-
to make a decision on where the 9,000 is going to come from.
right.
And if you do go with, some of these companies do offer, I know Virtual Town offers a 3-year plan, because it's a 3-year contract. So that 9,000 would be split up during the 3 years. So instead of 9,000 up front,
Could be 3,000.
it would be about 3, yeah. Well, it would actually be
Pretty
the
good,
3
right?
plus the 2,400, but it's less than having,
Right, we're
The
already,
9,000
we're already
and the support.
budgeted for
Right.
that bottom, or less than.
So what you could possibly do is take 2,000 from the trust fund, pay it out over 3 years, and we're saving 1,000. The difference between 36 and 24.
So we really only need to come up with 1,700,
Uh,
because we have 1,200 to be left from the bill that we're already budgeted for.
but actually, it's only a half year,
Yeah.
so we're only saving 600.
I come up with 1,800. So if you do the 9,000 plus 3 years of 2,400 and then divide it by 3, You get 5,400, we have 3,600 in the budget, we need another 1,800.
But I thought you said we had 3,600.
In the
Is-
school budget, but we will already have paid 18 of it, because the contract goes to the middle of the year, right, Nate? The contract goes to December.
We haven't paid anything.
We haven't paid
We haven't
anything.
paid
this year.
anything.
So we should have
There's
to pay
3,600
something.
ready to be paid in December, but we haven't touched it yet.
Correct.
If we renew.
If we renew.
Oh, I see.
So we
If
have the money.
renew. So actually, this contract runs through 2 different school budgets.
Yep.
Okay.
That's interesting.
They're on the calendar year
Yeah.
versus a fiscal.
Yeah.
So me saying we would have $1,200 left over in the budget
Correct.
is true.
Yeah.
Can we see about renewing the contracts at the end of every year? Like June, have it go July 1 to June
School
30?
year.
Oh.
Like everything else we
with the
do?
virtual.
Yeah. if
This
that's-
December's kind of silly.
Because it,
We have a lot of contracts like that, just. so you're
December?
aware. Yeah.
Really?
So you're gonna
But
try,
if you guys want to.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know we did that. So I guess it's
Yeah,
kind of
there's a
moot
bunch.
point. Okay.
so you're gonna try for 6 months and then.
What you got to do?
Or maybe an 18-month or something, so that it goes.
What's easier for you when you're budgeting? School year or calendar year?
School year would be easier.
Yeah, yeah. So if we did a 3-year, it would actually be like 2 of our budget cycles, because it would go from December through June for 6 months, and then another whole year. So that's 16 months. No, that's 18 months. Thank you. I'm going, what? And then the second part
Yeah.
would be another 18 months, so it would be a 3-year contract, but it would be on our cycle rather than calendar year.
Yep.
Can I make a motion?
Yeah, okay.
I would like to make a motion that we go with virtual towns and schools for our website. $9,000 setup, $2,400 a year support. Look at the 3-year contract, 18 months, and then 18 months, so it would end up being on our,
Well, 18
Our
months
fiscal
is on
calendar.
our calendar, but then if you do another 18 month, you throw it back on December.
all right, well,
Right.
18 months
18,
keep going, so.
I'll see what they can do.
18 months
Yeah.
and then June to July
Yeah.
1 to June
and
30.
where are you going to get the additional money from? Are you looking at the trust
It's
fund?
only $1,800. 1,800. I mean,
Well, I'm looking at the technology,
Yeah.
and with the stimulus package, or the wiring for the,
it takes us down to 40,000.
no, it takes us down to 26,000, which we would now have 26,000 left. So if we took
But you're saying only
3,000 out,
3,000 right now?
Yeah.
3,000 out now, yeah.
Spread over.
400 each.
Yes.
Yeah.
This would be 3,000 every year.
Right.
The 22,000 that you guys approved for back pay,
For what?
Mhm.
the 22,000.
Yeah.
That's coming from the SIG.
That's out of SIG, I was gonna say, that's not a.
No.
Right, no, but
This
the
is-
wiring
The 15,000 we
was
approved for the wiring.
stimuli, yeah.
So
Actually,
part of it
up to
is
20, wasn't it?
Yeah, up to 20.
Up to 20,000.
up
That's
to
right.
20. So
Right.
you're looking at perhaps saying 3,000 out of the
Yeah.
fund.
That's a long motion. Did you get every bit of that?
Oh, God, no. No.
Well, you know, when other people start jumping in,
I know.
okay, let's try this one again.
Go ahead, Peg. Say it again.
I make a motion that we go with virtual towns and schools from
Yes.
Boxborough, Mass.
Yes.
The $9,000 setup, $2,400 a year support. Looking at the 3-year contract, seeing if they can do an 18-month contract the first year, so that we will now be on our
For
fiscal year, not theirs.
For support. The 24 would be for support, right?
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at the setup,
Right.
Right,
Right.
look at a 3-year contract, but have them somehow
right.
Changing the
go to
schedule from
our
calendar
fiscal
to
year.
fiscal.
Yes, and that shall be taken out of the school district technology trust fund balance.
What amount?
What's going to be less than 3,000?
If you're doing 18 months, wouldn't it be $4,500?
Well,
Yeah.
Are you gonna do a second 18 months, the second year?
minus the
You might have to do
1,200.
2.5 contracts.
2.5 contracts, right. We'll let Nate work that all out.
I
but-
appreciate it. You're getting it complicated.
Yes.
Well, I know what I'm
God,
talking
yeah.
about, but then people
My
start throwing
head's
things out.
spinning.
I was checking that mess.
Can you read it back?
Which part?
Oh, yeah.
You were joking, right?
No.
Oh,
I
yes, you
wasn't.
were.
No, I was not. I was joking.
Motion to go with
That's too
virtual
serious.
towns and schools in Boxborough, Massachusetts.
I got all that. Go ahead.
Oh, stop. $9,000 setup fee with $24,000 per year.
No,
for
2,400.
support. I mean, 2,400,
Phew.
that's what I had. For support, 3-year contract to do 18 months, to change the first year to be on a fiscal year,
No, change, yeah, our fiscal year.
our fiscal year, to be taken out of the school and trust fund, is that what it's called?
School District Technology
Ah,
Trust
thank you.
Fund.
Technology trust fund. Okay, got it. Well, that's pretty good, wasn't it?
Very good.
We're doing. What was the dollar?
Which one?
Well, there's going to be a question on the dollar amount if they're going to change the support time.
Okay.
It's all messy. Can you read it?
Basically,
You know what's
over the
different.
course of a year, it's gonna be, like Jan said, $5,400 a year. Take off the $3,600 that we already have allotted, it's gonna be $1,800 additional that come out per year of that fund.
Right.
After we get through the first 6 months to get us on our fiscal schedule.
Right.
So,
Correct.
the first year's gonna be $2,700 and then $1,800 from there on out. Roughly.
Melissa?
I second.
I
Paul
did.
did.
Oh.
Okay, I didn't hear you.
It's basically $900 every 6 months that we're gonna have to be spent,
Paul?
so, aye.
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 All right, so you'll check with the town, Nathan?
Yep, thank you.
Good job, Nathan.
Melissa, I think you're up. I do need some clarification on that nomination. I had more questions after I talked to you.
Oh, sure. There are a couple errors on here, or a change, so I'll get to that. But currently, we have 7 students in our preschool. That's 7 identified students. We have more students because we are now a regular early childhood education center. So we have at least a 50 ratio between identified students and non-identified students. 46 students at MES, 52 at New. 1 student at Dover High School. We have 2 students at Maplestone, not 30. That was last year's number, sorry about that. 3 students at Seacoast Learning Collaborative. We just lost a student at Easter Seal, so you can just cross that one out. And 1 student at John Powers School.
Question. So on losing Easter Seal, would that be a savings in our budget this year?
Yeah, that would be for 6 months,
How much is that figure?
about 20 to 30,000.
Overall, I want to say that I really, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
Do you know the breakdown for middle school, high school?
It's about half and half of that. I don't know the exact, but it's pretty equal.
Thank you.
Pretty excited about the start of the school year. We've made some changes. We have a case manager or a special educator in each school taking a smaller caseload, students with more unique needs, and that so far is going really well. I'm really excited about the new staff we have too. Everybody's doing a great job. I'm really impressed. We do have Dr. Bethany Bilodeau from Core Methods working with us with a student. She also did a presentation on one of our staff days that was well received, and you were there?
No, I wasn't there, but I've heard awesome feedback from teachers.
Oh, good,
So,
good.
yeah.
People have been coming up to me and saying that they really enjoyed it. It was really was more about like what to do, not like,
Right.
you know.
You got them thinking about
Yes.
situations and how can I
Yeah.
interact differently, I think.
Yes.
Ways they wouldn't necessarily have thought of before, do you know what I mean? So I think it was really good.
Great. So she has been a president in our building as well, and that's been going really well. And I just want to let the board know that, you know, that we anticipated a certain amount of funds based on the previous year of Medicaid reimbursements, and it was over $18,000 more last fiscal year. So that was a positive, and Ginny and I are continuing to work on how we can maximize reimbursements from Medicaid. And then we submitted for special education aid for some of the students that had high cost programming. So we're expecting about 50,000 plus sometime in the next year reimbursement for that as well. So those are some good things.
It should be pointed out that Ginny and she are, this is funds that in the recent past you had not received to this degree, and they're spending a great deal of time and studying it, and then prescriptively our new psychologist is doing an excellent job, right?
Yeah, she was here last year. She
Yeah,
does a great job.
and she's been working in coordination with us, and the capacity is being built up because with the new staff we have in the way they're being trained, we're becoming better equipped to deal with the array of issues that students have. And now we're prescriptively looking at those students that she cited and where they are. And you went out this day to say you and the psychologist went to Maplestone, correct? And they're really, we're going to meet, and we're going to include Jan and Jen in the guidance department, and we're really going to look at the scaffolding that we can provide for those students. We're just still going to ensure that as we move students back in, that they're safe, our other students are safe, that we continue going where we are. But I think with the proper way that people are trained, the current staff that we have in the department, I think we're in a position to really take a look at, if we do bring students back, putting them in the best position for everyone to succeed and yet stay within a cost-effective way. So I would like to commend Ginny and her, and they're also looking at how we contract out, and every facet of it is being used. And then we'll talk about when the school budget is done, but we're going to, I think Bob had pointed this out, Carrier and Melissa Brown, some of you, when we went to the committee last year, were concerned, are we going to have more students coming in? So she's actually budgeting what we actually spent, right? You know, in terms of, but we'll do that this year. Just so as a preliminary, I just wanted you to know and reinforce and commend her and Ginny for the work being done. And you can see the grant monies in the so that's $68,000 that we're getting back that does not show up for a year. Is that right?
Well, Medicaid comes back monthly, so we did receive $18,000 approximately last fiscal year 18, more than we anticipated.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
And
It's a
then
year
this
behind.
coming year, well, we should get another $50,000 plus Medicaid reimbursement, which I hope to improve even more.
Laura, and then to
Are we still running the partners program?
Yes.
Yes,
So how many students are in that?
5.
And they're all at the elementary school?
yes.
Yeah.
So none at 6th grade?
Our program is only approved for elementary school, and it's not it can't really reach across 2 schools.
Okay.
You should point out that the state came and the visit went really well,
Yep.
wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They came
we
this
had a
week.
Representative from the DOE come yesterday and review our skills workshop program at the middle school and the partner program. So now we're approved through like 2078 or something. Crazy number. I'll be gone.
No, you'll still be
You'll be
here.
here, yeah, she'll be here.
I want to say thank you for all the hard work you've done to get the money back, but I still want to, on a caution as I continue to do, when it comes to our budget, we can't rely on getting our reimbursements in a timely fashion or anything else. And it is always better for us to be able to pay back to the town later than to not have it in our budget to begin with and being stuck. So I want to reiterate that yes, we get this money back, and yes, it's owed to us, but it could take the government a year to get it to us, or it could take longer depending on what's going on. So I don't want people to think, oh, we can decrease the budget by $18,000, because we can't. We don't know when that's coming in again.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I was trying to say. That's where the year that I was trying to infer came in.
Peggy?
Oh, Peggy, I love that.
Peggy.
All right. I had to write down my stuff so I could listen to everybody else too. The Medicaid. Remember the new law? Are we including that in your budget for this year, or what?
So Nate usually makes an estimate of what we're going to get for Medicaid reimbursement based on the previous year. So it's hard to tell how that's going to impact us because we haven't really scrutinized all of the plans that we could make Medicaid reimbursable. And also, we don't know who qualifies for Medicaid, so it's really not something I can predict.
By tomorrow, you'll let us know. That way. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, I actually had 3 questions. May I finish all 3, please?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, boy.
No, you can't.
It's been a while.
I always forget.
All right, you mentioned that Partners program is only in the elementary.
True.
If I happen to have a student who's in the Partners program in 5th grade and is ready to go to 6th grade next year, what happens to that child?
So 3 possible scenarios. The student is progressing well enough so that they can reintegrate back into a classroom, perhaps with paraprofessional support, one-on-one support. We have varying students have very different needs in that program, just
Right.
so you know. Another scenario might be that we create something specialized for them in preparation. We start looking at, okay, they're going to middle school, what are they going to need, and start looking at that. The other option, which it could happen down the road, depending on the student's need, is an out-of-district placement.
All right, and my second one out of district.
That was 2, so you said you have 3.
Yep,
Thank you, Melissa.
I have one more. I have my 3rd one. May I ask my 3rd one now? I'm just kind of, you know that I'm still looking for a place for
Yep.
students.
Yep. And
One,
that's both special and regular ed.
right,
Yeah.
right. But I am wondering, these students who are outplaced or out of district, if we could find a location where they could be housed with the correct, hiring specialized teachers to be with them in this particular
Alt school?
location, beyond an alt school though. Would that be feasible? If you want to just kind of think about it, I just want to kind of throw it out there because it was
So-
just an idea that I had.
Placement is always an IEP team decision, so
Right.
I couldn't make that decision on my own. I do have to say, just knowing the students we have out, they are very, very different, all of them. And so to create one program that meets all of their needs might be difficult, but it's not completely out of the question that we might be able to meet some of the needs now or in the near future.
Okay, because all I was thinking was just, it costs so much to send them out, and if we could hire a specialized teacher for maybe one or two of the issues that some of these students have.
You raise a good point. We've been conversing about that right along. What might very well happen is, because we're small and we have six of them or so, and they are diverse, but what could occur is a half a day in terms of the academics with the trained people that we have. And like Melissa and I have talked about, the other part of the day is they go out and work, or they go to a trade school or something like that, or do ELOs or whatever. But you're right, you're on to where we are going.
Okay.
So that we would use the person or people full-time, but they would not necessarily have the kids together because they are divergent in age, divergent in need, and they just wouldn't mix because of the because of the special educational needs that they have.
Okay.
Does that answer it? But we are really so we still, Melissa Brown and you have been very active, and Doug Shoot on that. We still need the place to go, because if you build it, they will come.
Right.
You know, like the School of Dreams.
Right.
So we're still trying to find the place to go. So and then we'll get the necessary people, and then we'll get the necessary students to make that happen. So that is still in our goal list.
Okay.
Right? Is that?
Whisper in his ear.
I don't know.
I just want to clarify on that one person you put in. I'm not going to mention any names, for it's non-public. You said 0.5, and then the rate was 1787. Would that 1787 be cut in half, or would that be the full amount?
I'm not following you, sorry.
Yeah, no, it would be the full amount.
For the half an hour?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Oh,
Yeah.
the half hour?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it would be their
Yeah.
hourly rate
cut in half.
cut in half.
Yeah,
That's all
I
I
see what
needed.
you're saying.
I forgot to ask you that question.
Okay, so I wouldn't need to stay for a long, long time.
Don't have to. No, I'm asking. But that was my.
You just got a reprieve. He's stuck in it without mentioning names.
Did you have anything for special ed?
Was there another question?
Well,
I think I was the
I
third
think-
one with my 3 questions.
I think she's
We
got
limit Kate to
18
3.
more.
No, we limited Kate to 3.
She's going to have to type them up, and you can answer with a red pen.
Yeah, I will start typing them up, and then you should just
18 more.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
School board business, Earl?
Policies.
Policies.
No.
Oh.
Did you want to have someone make an announcement? Did you ask me to make that public? Or should that be non-public? You, talk about you. You had news for us when you came in.
Really? Well, not school news.
Well, of course it is.
I got engaged to my lovely lady. Cake next week? Cake next week?
Cake, I think cake.
Next week or the
I think we
25th?
need a cake.
You know what that means?
Oh,
Paul, you
yeah.
won't be picking on Peg anymore.
Oh, of course I will.
It was another one of those when I look at Doug and Doug looks at me.
What?
I had no idea. Okay, thank you, Doug.
He wanted me to do it. I didn't
Appreciate it.
You're always blaming me.
You did say I was stupid. I won't take credit for something I didn't do.
All right, so Tammy, you need to put that in the minutes.
I'm putting on the
Cake,
So
the
Cake, I'll
25th.
put the
Cake on the
cake.
25th, yeah.
Okay,
We're
well,
all
I'll
buying
put the
cake?
cake.
25th. I won't be here at 25th, so you have to
What do you mean
Oh,
you
you
won't
won't
be
be
here?
here? I don't know.
I don't know.
Where are you
Well,
going?
What day?
You let me know.
Yeah, I'll be here, I'll be here. I'll be here.
Wednesday.
Never mind.
Okay.
Just
Do
regard.
you want I've got the cake.
Oh, God.
Specify frosting, so we're not standing anything?
What's that?
No purple frosting, so we're not standing anything?
Right.
Okay,
No purple
Are you all set?
frosting.
Remember
That's
26?
frosting?
Oh, that's right, we were
Okay.
purple.
All right,
moving on.
Okay.
I will buy the cake.
This will be the first reading for
You don't.
ADB,
Yep.
drug-free workplace, drug and free schools.
I don't want you buying. Okay, I'm sorry.
Is this the right one, or is this, no, it's not the one I want to talk about. Go ahead.
Can I move on? Any questions on that one?
No,
Okay, the first reading for EB, safety program. No, I did call the New Hampshire School Board Association one time and asked if I had to read these verbally, and they told me no. So I
No,
don't-
you don't have to.
Yeah, so if that policy's changed, I didn't check on it, so I didn't do my job. The next one is EFA, availability and distribution of healthy foods. Okay, that's first reading. Now we have a third reading for ADC, tobacco products bans of use and possession in and on school facilities and grounds.
And it looks like she made the changes. Last time we tabled it because she didn't make changes. Right? So it looks like the changes were made.
Did anybody see the notice put out by the FDA today, warning the e-vape people that they need to do something or they're going to ban the product because of the usage of our young children?
Yes, I did see that today.
It's just a note for the public. All right.
Good, Laura?
Yeah, I'm good. I see that the changes were made, so
You all set?
I was just
Do we have to
questioning.
vote on
if we were-
We
Yes,
good?
this
You
one
want
we
to,
did.
if it's, want to pass it, yeah.
We want to pass something.
Okay.
Run it by her. Didn't work. You need a motion.
Oh, go ahead.
I make a motion to pass ADB, EB, EFA.
No,
No,
no, no,
can't.
just ADC.
Oh, just ADC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good, good.
Motion for ADC.
Could I have a second?
I'll second it.
Laura?
Okay.
Any more discussion? Melissa?
Aye.
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 Yes.
Okay, you're gonna get off easy. I put BCB for homework. Just read it and compare it to what we got.
Oh, I was gonna say that doesn't say homework, that says conflict of interest.
Well, no. Now going from 57 to 84.
So this is gonna be in our,
No, you can read it. You think you want to do changes. Send it to the policy committee. It's been
It's homework for you. Yeah.
Homework for you, for all, but whatever the board wants to do. There's been changes made to that law.
Laura, we have to go home and read it and see what we want to do.
Yeah, all right.
And then present
well,
it to
I think
us.
the board should tell us if they also, not just me or Melissa decide, if you want to review it. Do you guys feel it needs to be?
I do.
Okay, so
I'm just one person.
so I'm gonna,
Well, if there's been changes and this no longer
Right.
applies, then we need to go over it.
Oh, I'm glad you opened
so
that
I
up.
will I'll ask Kathy to include it in the policy packet.
Okay, I'm glad you opened your page, Paul. On page 56, where we'll remember, you can go to the website and look at policy services, put the username in and the password, and you can see every example of the New Hampshire School Board Association's policies. So you don't have to ask for them. And I tried to print them, but I couldn't, but Kathy can.
So is there also on there showing what policies have been updated?
No,
So how does Kathy find that out? Because that's
it's
generally what she
mailed to
gives
her.
us.
Spring and fall.
He said he's late with it, Barrett Christina. The new ones, more new ones are gonna be out soon.
Okay.
But they're a little behind.
Okay,
Yeah, they're mailed to you.
They're a little behind.
okay, thank you.
Now, page 57 to 84, I sent you all a love letter.
Yes, you do.
I went to training, and if you go to page, if I can find it, I read them. Let me see where my page is.
Yeah, I love all his notes on the sides.
It is right, hand scratching. On page 81 of our page number, but page 25 of the document. These are all the House bills that we're possibly going to have to make changes in our policies. Okay? And I just got another batch the other day. And we're going to possibly have to look. I'm afraid our policy committee is going to be working late hours.
So is that, can I just ask, is that HB on 1499?
Yeah.
Or is it ITB?
HB, they're all House bills, or
Yeah,
SB is
Senate
Senate bill?
No, oh, the ED is Department of Education. You may have some of those too.
Okay.
ED, 510, Department of Ed.
You wonder why I pick facilities every year.
I'm sorry for you girls. Okay, good news. E, budget workshop dates need your approval. Are we happy with these dates? We haven't run them by the,
They don't have to be run by the budget committee.
so we're all set.
There are work.
Yeah, there are work.
So we're all set.
Do we want, on the 10th, we normally would have a school board meeting. Do we really want to have
It'll
a
just-
budget workshop on
Yeah,
that day?
it'll just be a workshop, yeah. That makes sense.
That's the day I'm not here, the 10th. That's the one I got confused on.
You're gone.
October 10th,
Okay,
I'm,
so
yeah. I'm in Connecticut, so I won't be here. As
So
this
we
is
will
right
not
now.
have a regular school board meeting that night then?
Is that what Earl's saying?
We'll have just briefly to approve things, but basically it'll be the budget workshop.
Okay, so then we will be off TV.
Yes.
Okay.
So, that's good to tell. Yeah,
Wait
'cause
a
we
minute,
won't be
on-
here,
where
we'll
is
be
it
at
saying
the community room.
Yeah.
So,
So you got that, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, so we will be at the community room all three?
What is it saying
Is that what we were gonna do?
I think that's a great
am I
place.
still doing
Earl, have you,
financial?
No.
Have the dates been set?
No?
Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't, if we're gonna do it here, I have to get permission from them. We got the 10th done because we're gonna meet here, but I have to tell
well,
them.
you know what? I brought, ooh,
So the 3rd and 17th.
Oh, wait a minute.
Community room?
Yeah.
The 10th will be too.
So 3,
So-
10, and 17,
Yeah.
community room, 6 to 8.
Yeah.
Unless the board changes their mind.
Jan,
No,
can you
that's
set
fine.
that up? Thank you.
yeah, because this was made on the, yeah, this is what I was gonna look for. So this is the actual budget committee, so those dates are fine for us.
Perfect for them.
Yep, yep.
Right, so you're saying we're gonna meet on the October 3rd,
October 3rd, October
but it's
10th.
not written on here, so I'm not missing something.
No, that's from the budget committee.
Yeah, this
Right here.
is, from the budget
Oh,
committee
This
with
is
all
here.
the
The agenda.
dates.
Okay. All right, I see it now. Thank you. I'm following.
You sure? Okay.
You know,
Okay.
Doug, before we get too
Go-
quick,
go
I
back.
just have a real quick question for Jan. Since I was just looking this over, how often do you run the criminal records of your teachers?
When they're hired.
Just when they're hired?
what's that law say?
It doesn't according to this, and I'm just questioning that because if we're only
Shut it.
running them the first time that we hire somebody, anything can happen
Vibrate.
from one year to the next.
I know in Maine, when you get recertified, it's every 5 years, they rerun your background check. I don't know if that New Hampshire does.
I don't think so.
What, are teachers recertification every 3 years?
Well, I'm just worried that somebody gets arrested for some type of horrific incident that's, not public news, and then we have them in a building that we don't know about.
I would think that someone would be notifying, and it's gonna make news all over the place if it's
So you're missing days or something.
right.
It's
I
gonna
assume
make
it's how
the
it would
news.
notify us. It's gonna
Yeah.
make
Plus,
the news.
plus Laura will see them.
Not necessarily.
Laura say, by the way, you missing a staff member.
But the other thing you gotta remember,
They've got a new
it
room.
could be pleaded down, too, pleaded down.
Exactly. I'm just worried about if we're not running them on a regular basis, then, we look like we have egg on our face or something happens.
I always thought about that over the years.
It's up to the policy committee to bring that.
No, that's what that's why I was curious, so I can look
All
at it
right,
with
so
the
we're all
policy.
set with it. Do I have to vote, do we have to vote on these?
The board?
I will,
I don't have to go to those, do I? I'm not part of the budget stuff.
You have to take notes, so yes, you're supposed to be
You have
there.
to be-
All that budget stuff?
Yeah.
For our just the school board budget.
Yeah.
You have to for the budget
laughing
committee.
at us. Not the budget, just ours.
I'll make a motion that the October 3rd, 10th, and 17th will be school board budget workshop dates. And
I
what date-
second.
What date we want to start at?
What date or what time?
Time, I'm sorry, 6 o'clock?
6, yep.
Okay, that's my motion.
Second,
Everybody happy with that?
Who's gonna set the schedule and who's presenting?
No, we're meeting to determine our budget.
No.
I know, but
but,
we have them present to us.
We'll send you the
Do you
list
guys care?
of when each one will
Yeah.
come.
Yep.
You know,
Let them do it.
we'll divide it up and go.
Yep.
Jane, can you do the 3rd, 10th, and 17th?
Yeah,
Whatever you present off the days.
sure.
There you go, it's all done.
I'm only doing mine now, so I won't cover
Oh my
it.
gosh, on the 3rd, you and I are at
Well,
a
the
workshop
17th will
in
be
Concord,
Concord.
or in
Back, right?
We should be back,
Manchester.
we should be back by
Yeah,
then.
we should
At
be.
3, okay.
That's right here, or is it gonna be up there?
Community room.
Okay. So I won't be at
Which
10.
date?
I'll be in
Well, is the
Vancouver.
10th gonna be here? Because we're already,
Community room is,
All in the
Let's,
community.
I
So who motioned, who second, who third, or fourth?
first seconded, Bob thirded.
Did you say there's no regular school board meeting on the 10th?
No, it will
Okay.
not be. It- Bob,
The 10th, we might need to approve somebody's contract.
we can do that, just put it on the end. It'll be
Yeah,
a big issue.
yeah, you got it.
Any more discussion, anybody? Melissa?
no, I'm just looking at my schedule to.
No, yes or no?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
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 I left my phone at home, everybody. Okay,
Oh, gosh.
oh, I must admit. Now, this is nothing, this other class I went to. When you allow people to say
You're
good things,
advanced degree by now.
when you say good things about people, you gotta let other people say bad things about them. Other people.
Huh?
You just can't let somebody come up and say only good things. You gotta allow people to come up and say bad things.
Yeah, but wouldn't that have to be non-public?
That's what I said. See,
Oh my God.
but no, sometimes different for the board. Okay, they can come up and call the board anything you want, up to a point.
Right, but I'm just talking about, it depends on who they're talking about.
Yeah, that's right, you gotta be careful, non-public.
Right.
It's employees and stuff, staff.
Was this the nasty people workshop that you went to? So they out there can say anything they want.
That's the point. Then you get removed. That's the other batch of policies you gotta work on,
That's the bad
to get
one.
out of line, to be removed.
Yep.
I'll give you that information, the policy committee. Okay, go ahead.
So on the budget
Oh, someone
committee
about
ones, it looks
Sorry.
like the 8th is crossed off.
it. Okay.
Oh, we made one,
The only change is this one.
right. The only change is the 15th to the 13th, because you could not make
Okay,
the
right.
7th
We're
or the
still having
6th
that
or
one.
something.
But why is the 8th crossed off though?
I don't know, why is that one
That's
crossed
not
off?
supposed to be, because they wanted us to move it.
No,
She put a check mark that she wanted.
no, it is there.
It's
That was
the
one that
8th.
we had said, okay,
So-
let's move it, and then we said, no,
Because they were
we
gonna
can't
change,
move
they
it.
were gonna move it to the 7th and we said no.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so this is
that's why
still
they're
here.
circled. yeah.
Right, it still is the 8th, and
So
I don't know
7th
why
is
that
not-
one,
Not there?
pardon?
The 7th should not be there?
No, and I don't know why that one
That was
is
a
on
suggestion.
here.
Okay, so get rid of the 7th, keep the 8th.
So the 1st, 8th, and 13th,
November 8th.
if needed.
Yes. Yes.
Run that by me, no, November.
So the
Yep.
1st,
1st, 8th,
8th,
15th, 13th.
13th if
God.
needed.
We're gonna be before the budget committee,
Right,
here.
okay.
I wish they'd clean this
Is that
document.
right, Bob?
I'm pretty sure I have it
Thanks.
in the...
Get that organized.
That might look, that's at 6 o'clock also?
Yes.
Okay, that's done.
So no snow on the 2nd, right? February?
Okay. Moving on, F, co-curricular, I can't talk about position descriptions,
What?
92. I thought they were very good. But I did have a question. Oh, no, wait a minute, yeah.
I have a question on that also.
No, wait a minute. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. We're talking about those.
Those are all the job descriptions. So my only question is, how often are you checking in with these people to actually make sure they're,
So this year, I'm still hanging on to the stipend position contracts.
Yep.
And I'm going to give them their job description with their stipend, with their contract. I'm gonna have to initial it, and then they will be evaluated. They have to keep logs of meetings, you know,
okay,
minutes of
and then,
meetings,
so
that
you're
sort of thing.
reviewing it how often though?
Probably twice a year, January, June.
But what if someone's not seeing the person initially and doing what they're supposed to be doing? How is that being identified?
What do you mean?
So the mentor one is what I'm referring to.
I've already checked in with the mentors 3 times, with especially first day, you need to meet with your teacher on this, second day, you need to do this.
Okay.
Second week, I actually brought a mentee to a mentor and say, hey, you need your help on this.
Okay.
So,
Now, do you realize we only do mentors for 1 year?
correct.
Okay, just, one time we were doing them for 3 years, way back.
Well, could it be recommended though if someone
If somebody needed it, I would
needed it?
request.
Yeah.
That's
These are teachers who teach.
part of
Well, but it's also, it could be that the mentor wasn't really doing a good job.
And we get them a different mentor.
Right.
Right, so, and then that person maybe wouldn't be considered for a
Look
mentor
at it
position. Yeah.
individually.
Correct.
So, okay. That was my only question.
Yeah, those are the key ones, critical ones.
Okay.
Everybody happy with all of those?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. I read them all. I think
We've come a long way.
they were well done.
Now, were these new this year, Jen? Did you put these together?
No, Jen had some drafts. We begged and stole from Epping, Rochester, other districts.
You guys were amazing. I'm sorry.
I did a lot of editing and
Never reinvent the wheel.
The only thing I would
Somewhere else.
include on the high school senior
Yep.
is to make sure it specifies giving seniors deadlines for stuff to be put in. I don't know that it's on there. So
provide-
deadlines for pictures and their, whatever they want to write up and all that kind of stuff.
provide deadlines, like yearbook, you mean?
Yeah, so they know when they have to have their stuff submitted by and what's like the appropriate picture. It doesn't necessarily have to be by a professional, it could be
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. I think they give it to them anyways. But just so it's in there, in case it's someone different doing it.
Okay.
Okay, so you were just adding
So on page 96, I'm adding one more performance responsibility.
deadlines. Okay. All
Or
right.
senior requirements, or I don't know, however you want to word it, something like
Okay.
that.
Do you want us to make a motion to accept all these descriptions? Because I will make a motion that all these descriptions be accepted.
That would be good, and then I actually get 3 more for you.
Can we have them now?
Put them all together.
Yeah.
They're not a week ahead of
I got them
time.
all stapled.
They're not. Peg had asked about Voice of Democracy.
Oh, this would be a new one, yeah.
Voice of democracy laws.
Well,
What the heck?
what happened about this is
Oh, I know what
So-
this is. I know what this is.
Peg and
So a
I,
couple things. One, we have staff development for middle school and high school and elementary school. And elementary has a para staff development person, and I don't. I have a staff member who's been doing it for free. So I would like to offer that person the same stipend that the elementary person does. So in order to do a stipend, I did a job description.
And I would recommend that because she's been doing an excellent job.
So is that a sticker we have to add to our list, or?
Yeah. But this one and all 3 of these you wanted to add to the list,
Nope,
right?
the other one I have talked differently about. Well, there's one on the list, and so I'll talk about that.
Huh?
This one,
Okay.
just do the para one.
First one, yes. First one, yes.
The new one
Yes.
would be a $500 stipend, just like the elementary school.
Okay.
Alright. So the pep band coordinator, it's right now on the stipend list as band competition
Thank you.
coordinator.
Could not figure out what that one was. Thank you.
So it wasn't done last year because we had very
No
few people
band.
in the band. What she's done in the past is bring them to an East Coast band competition, but she said that the feedback from the parents was it was expensive because it ended up costing them $50 because they also went to Canopy Lake. So a few years ago, she stopped doing that and instead she created a pep band that played at the basketball games. So I asked what her plan was for this year. She said she'd like to bring the group to what's the hockey team I'm forgetting? Monarchs, thank you. To a Monarchs game to play the national anthem there. I said that wouldn't be enough to do the whole stipend, so she said she could restart the band, the pep band. So I changed it from band competition coordinator, which is a $1,000 stipend. I'm recommending it become the pep band coordinator for $800. Because I looked at it in comparison to the time equipment and requirement that other stipends do. I felt that it was similar to an $800 one.
So they only play at the graduation and basketball games,
Correct, and then if she can
and
arrange
then the
something
other
at the
field
Monarchs.
trips.
so what was your amount for Voice of Democracy?
200.
So
She hasn't gotten to
that
that
one, I would
one.
like to take the 200 that I'm saving from my Voice of Democracy for the work he does. The orators one gets 600. He feels that's too much because he does a lot of it within the class, not after school. But then I wrote down the responsibilities for the things that he does that's above and beyond his school day.
So what did you want for this one? 200. Savings from that one.
That band.
Okay, the reason this happened is because Peg went to Nate and had a real in-depth list, which all should give you later on, what's paid for stipends, and we worked from there, and we went through, ran through each one of them, cost reference, teacher's contract. So a lot of these are gonna have to go to some of these are gonna have to go to the teacher's contract, the new ones.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Right.
So you have to go, so we can't really do anything
Well,
until the contract's in place?
Well, no, we can approve them and then present them to the,
But it'll be up to them if they move forward or not, depending on what they vote.
yeah, but I mean, you know, if we're offering a position.
No, some people can say no to things.
So like,
Also, too, as far as the
Oh, really?
compensation is concerned, with the one position, the para position that we spoke about, the $500, we have positions which aren't filled, because we have teams that we put in the school budget that we're not going to field because we don't have
I don't
enough.
have a JV volleyball coach. We're not going to really
Yeah.
Soccer.
a very small portion of the soccer coach.
Yeah, so we have money deferred, we have,
Well, we're not gonna spend that money.
no, but I'm just saying we
We're
can
gonna
pay
keep
it. Yeah, of course we are.
We're not gonna say anything. The para positions, just to kind of answer your earlier question, Laura, there were several para positions and some, is it summer school? But whatever they were really not part of the teacher contract. So Nate had he had an absolutely wonderful list. So what I'm trying to do is just say, okay, these are just teachers, so that we can present it to them.
Awesome.
So,
Good job.
just an FYI.
Cleaning stuff up.
Why, thank you, Laura.
Good job,
You
Nate.
gonna do a motion on this?
yeah, I'm gonna make a motion. I made a mistake here.
Uh-oh.
Okay, D, I'm gonna make it D.
112, 14.
111, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve.
So 112, 13, 114.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, okay. From 90 all the
Actually, I
way
gotta
up
put
to
hours on.
Okay.
114. Okay. Do I have a
Well, we can't
second?
go up to 114 because we already have a 112 and a 113. So it's like a
Full
111.
A's, A, B, C.
Yeah, 111A,
We got a problem
111B.
because I already put your A in there. It's gonna have to be
OMG.
B, C, D.
No, it should be.
Or what
Huh?
if you make it,
112
what if you
A.
make it 110?
112D.
Well, we already have a 110, guys.
110 A, B, C.
Oh,
Is the other 11
I
A
don't care.
Yeah,
something
okay, that's
different?
good.
A.
Good idea. Good idea.
10B.
Okay,
So 110A, 110B.
yeah.
110C.
Yeah,
All right, so you made a motion?
I did, yeah.
Then I will second that.
Any more discussion? Melissa?
Aye.
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 So it passes. Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to make
Some adjustments.
these. Ooh.
Gave you,
Close.
I gave you a 111A, that's what I messed you up on.
Yeah, I don't have a 111A.
Peg?
Oh, is that what this is? I thought it was 1,119. I put it at the end.
I,
A, okay.
okay, this was the savings that Earl did in staff reduction, remember? Okay, and that's what that is, 111A. That's for information.
I don't know if that's here. That was for this year.
Yes. You didn't get one? What's that?
No, I don't have it in my packet.
Do you know what? You may have put it at the bottom too, because that's where I
I
had
gave
mine.
2 to each of you.
Oh, no, that's not it.
Here,
This one.
I got an extra one.
Thank you.
It's just
Savings.
For FYI, that's all of it.
Is there something I gotta write down? Because I don't have one.
Oh, here.
I take last year.
Was it last year or this year?
This year.
Nate's
No,
saying last year.
Last year, I think it was. Where's Earl? He took
He
off.
went to the bathroom.
Ending Right. Ending June 30th, correct?
Yeah.
June
Yes, of
30th
18.
of 2018.
Right.
Okay.
Just a brief synopsis of what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay,
this is where this is where some of the savings came from.
Correct.
You're saying.
correct.
Yeah. That's FYI.
Okay.
FY 18 ending. Okay, good. Thank you. Cute.
Okay, any old business?
Negative.
Committee and board reports?
Oh, we've already gone over the budget as
You're-
far as our dates.
You were all here for facilities.
Yep. And just FYI, we have had 2 meetings with the MEA negotiations team. That's it.
Okay.
Get several more scheduled.
I have a rec commission meeting on Wednesday next week.
Wow.
And policies, we have a meeting on Friday, 2:30 for the cafeteria.
Hiring.
You won't be there?
And
I'm gonna be in here for a parent meeting and then.
So do we want to reschedule?
well, I'm in court that morning, so I don't know if I could be back for 2:30 because I just took a case today.
Make it part of, make it the beginning of
I'm sorry,
the
you were talking
policy
about this.
meeting, so we can
Yeah.
get through it.
Yeah, we'll do it right at the beginning when
Gotta
we
feed
meet.
those
So-
kids, you know?
I know.
Can you ask, can you talk to this?
26, so we started on.
Well, we'll start our normal budget, policy.
So
committee.
it's
Cancel it.
an FYI.
Cancel it and move it, but we're gonna do, okay.
I just wanna make sure.
Oh, but that is one thing I had, what was the question I was supposed to ask them?
That's cool.
We're supposed to ask the board in reference to that policy, is the amount of money for, that they want us to start, was it the court money? The process to start going to court?
Collection agency?
Well, there's different thresholds,
Right,
because there's different stages of the whole process.
right, but what would be the money amount that you'd want us to start the court, proceedings of collecting the money back? Was kind of the question we wanted to ask the board before we got,
I don't know.
right, was that what it was?
Well, I don't know that we should be, that should be public knowledge.
No, but that's something that I wanted them to think about.
Think about, okay.
Right.
But I think part of that is the only way we could do anything would be small claims court, which costs money to
File.
Right.
But we can charge that to the person we're
Okay.
bringing.
But the other issue is that at the end of the school year, we've forgiven those negative balances, which I don't think we necessarily should be forgiving those negative balances.
Agreed.
So,
But we'd have to.
but how far back would be another
3
question
years.
for the board. Do we want to go to get that money
You
back?
legally can go
I've
up to
been
3
paying
years.
mine.
3 years.
They've been forgiven them.
Yeah, that's
But just so you know, we have to zero out those balances at the end of the year.
Right,
Okay.
But
But
are
we do
we
have
paying-
record of
what they are.
what they are, yeah.
But are we paying them off?
That's part of the food service transfer we do.
Pay off those balances.
Yep.
So when that money comes back in, it comes in as revenue.
Yeah.
Or it goes into that other line you put on the money. What's accounts receivable?
It's a transfer, so it comes in as, it does come in as a revenue for that particular case, yes.
Right.
For the 200 function.
Yeah, nothing I found out. Any anticipated revenue you can't spend, you could have a hearing.
Yep. And we do.
I know you do that. You do
Yeah.
your job.
All right, that's all I have. Thank
Laura,
you.
did you say rec committee meeting? Did you say you were having that?
Rec commission meeting is next Wednesday.
Thank you.
I clarified today that we're on.
for sure.
Take us home, Doug.
Take you home. Well, I have something for you, and I must remember this. You're on the New Hampshire School Board Association.
It is a
I think this is meant for you.
I don't think it's all him. I think it's from the
Why is it all
girls.
ripped in the back?
It's got a heart, I like that.
I know, right?
Paul.
Are
don't
you
give hearts for-
rescheduling?
Jeez, the dog
Yeah.
open this?
Do you want
It'll just be on our, it's just gonna be our regular policy meeting, our second meeting of the month. But we'll
Okay.
start with that policy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one. You still gonna meet the other one?
So she's clarifying that
I was just clarifying. 'cause
That's gone,
She had one on
moved.
Friday, but she
Right.
rescheduling it to the regular meeting.
Okay, so we're gonna, I know that usually, is it
Yes.
Kathy that
Brandon.
registers me for this every year? The delegates thing in January?
Yeah, I'll make sure she does.
If you do. This is just, if we have anything as a school board to resolutions we want to present.
I don't know how I
That's
got
what
that.
I think I sent one to you, Paul, the last day or two. I might have sent you
Via
the
email.
same thing, yeah.
So, yep. Okay. Yeah, so obviously I need to get
Yeah.
registered for this again. Can't wait for the launch.
Any, Jan, you got anything you want to say? Public, you know, that's one,
Public.
I won't forget about you. Nothing I found out, even if you're not a resident in the community, you can speak. You can be out of town, you can't stop them.
Don't have to listen to them though, we can say.
Put your fingers in your ears.
La 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 la.
Okay.
Okay, is there any public comments? Bob or Jan? Welcome to. Okay, I need a motion to go into non-public.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public at, 7:55 according to the official time.
I second.
Laura, okay. That'd be under RSA 91A, 3, 2, A, B, C, and D, and E, whatever else we did.
I don't think you just say that.
Oh, you saying aye or you saying aye?
I'm saying aye.
Aye.
AYE. Aye.
So we're in non-public, everybody.